be talking a little bullish, bearish here with JC. We're going to be talking about themes coming off the monthly conference call earlier this week, and I'm going to throw in a few wild cards for you, JC. So let's get it started with a big theme from the monthly conference call. Let's talk energy, bullish or bearish?
I think you have to be bullish. You know, we've been pounding the table on this commodities super cycle. I think it's for real. Crude oil keeps making new highs. Look at India, the Nifty Energy Index just broke out of a 3-year base. We're seeing Warren Buffett YOLOing Chevron stock. You know what I'm saying? Everything's pointing to that. And it's really part of that global growth story. All these other base metal commodities and energy keeps doing well. So these energy stocks, as part of that sector rotation, I think it makes perfect sense. We're buying Chevron, we're buying Exxon. We're in.
Okay, good to know. Now, a quick question for you as far as linking this to a news story. Is there anything in that when it comes to energy, when you look at what's happening in Texas right now with their grid?
Yeah, I mean, that stuff, I can't speak to that. It's not really my area of expertise. The fact that it's cold there and it usually isn't. I'm more interested in all the cows that are dying. Cattle futures is really where my interest is. I got boots on the ground. I'm getting text messages that the supply is literally freezing to death. So I'm more interested in buying a breakout in live cattle futures.
I saw that. You actually tweeted that, and it made me really sad for Bessie. So I hope they stay warm. Okay, moving on, let's talk some global. Let's get into Germany. You hit this one really early on the call.
Listen, Germany's one of the most important economies in the world. They're the ones fronting the bill out there in Europe. I mean, this is, United States, Germany, Japan. These are the types of countries, what's going on in China. Like, that's the Mount Rushmore of the most important countries in the world. So in terms of the stock market and the economy anyway. So when we see Germany breaking out of a half-decade-long base to new all-time highs, that would argue, I would make the argument that the rest of Europe is likely to follow.
All right, interest rates, bullish or bearish?
I think rates are going higher. I think you got to stay bearish bonds. Man, I think bonds might actually have been a worse trade than gold. Like, they're like the worst trades in the world, gold and bonds. To me, I think 1.4 on the US 10-year yield, that's next. I mean, between you and me, I think it goes much higher than that, but that's the next stop. So I think bonds continue lower, and it's not just a US thing, you're seeing it around the world. Interest rates higher.
Robinhood.
I've been so bullish since day one. When they were at a 65 million valuation, I remember seeing the paperwork. I'm like, this one's going to be a home run. I thought I was smart because I thought I was going to go to $1 billion. So shows you how smart I was.
I mean, where are we now with that?
16 billion, maybe? I don't know, something like that. A lot.
All right, good enough for me. How about maxing out your 401k? Let's bring in a stock tweet, whether they were being facetious or not. What do you think there, bullish or bearish, when it comes to maxing out a 401k?
I think you do it. It's free money, right? So you're getting tax-deferred assets, and then in a lot of companies, I don't know if companies still do this, but if they do, and if they're matching your contributions, if you don't do that, I think that's just stupid. And I'm in favor of any strategies, any long-term investment strategies that you're always contributing the same every month, and because what happens is, sure, you're going to buy the highs, but you're also going to buy the lows. And more importantly, you're going to buy everything in between. And then that's going to compound over time. So for a lot of investors, a strategy like that, I think, makes a lot of sense. And if you want to increase that, when the market is down a lot, like double digits in a month or something close to that, if you put twice as much, you're really going to speed up the growth process. And I encourage everyone to look up a compound interest chart. Look how that thing really takes off at the end. When you double down in bad markets, that tail at the end is even more aggressive.
Let's talk about Bitcoin, bullish or bearish?
Bullish, definitely. I'm in.
On all fronts. All right, let's get into some sports. Fernando Tatis Jr. just signed a 14-year contract extension with the San Diego Padres to the tune of $340 million plus a $10 million signing bonus. Bullish or bearish on this one?
I'm bullish for him, man. Good for him. You get somebody to agree to that? Hell yeah, you take that all day, baby. Is he getting paid in Bitcoin or in USD, you think?
That's a good question. I would ask for half and half personally.
That's a little aggressive, Julie. I would say don't do that.
I'm kidding. No, it is an incredible deal. Although I would have to say personally, I'm a bit bearish when it comes to the team. I mean, that is potentially, if it doesn't work out, that is a franchise crippling deal. When you just look at their infield, I mean, they're in for $900 million plus their infield alone.
Yeah, I mean, the San Diego sports franchise making poor decisions, I can't imagine.
Touche, my friend. I will not argue with you there. But I will say, just to keep in mind, 14 years from now, Bobby Bonilla will still be paid out 1 year on his behemoth contract from the Mets in Queens, just so you know. JC, always a pleasure. For more on this, you can check out allstarcharts.com. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Julie.